So here's how I'm going into 2026 creating AI ads. AI ads, they can get a pretty bad rap, but if you're using outdated and old school tactics from 2025, I'm going to show you how you can update those tactics so you can create powerful images and videos that drive conversions. This works for both e-commerce as well as lead generation, local-based business, global businesses, service-based businesses, you name it. And all it does is takes a few clicks of a button. I'm going to give you all the prompts, all the tools that I use, all the frameworks I use and templates so you can create these for yourself very quickly so you can sit back, rake in money, and focus on working on the business rather than in it. So if you want us to get in the trenches and build you some ads and run your ad campaigns, click that link in the description and let's work together. All right, so the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna go over to Grok here. And the reason that we're using Grok instead of ChatGPT or Perplexity or any other LLM is because Grok is superior at running deep research because it's able to leverage X as well as pretty much every other data source out there. It's actually able to get better consumer and customer personas. And I'm going to show you how you can get that information. What we want to do here is create brand new personas. You can see here we have legal, cover letter, writing assistant, fitness. We want to create a new project here and give it very specific instructions. I do have a kind of master AI generation template here that if you want access to this, shoot me a DM via Instagram or LinkedIn. I'll be happy to send this over. Pretty much wanted to give it some instructions about you, your business, and the overall goals you want to accomplish. You giving it some custom goals on how to generate just banger AI ads. I'm just going to title this YouTube example project so we know to delete this later. We want to create this. Don't worry about attaching any files. So now we have our custom persona here, and then I'm going to grab one of my lifestyle image generation prompts and insert the variables. For this example, I'm going to use a body contouring type of brand so that way we can create different lifestyle images versus just some boring product images. Not that products are boring, we love products, but for this example, I think it'd be better to get some actual consumer behavior and generate images based on that, on the data that Grok is able to pull in here to generate some really amazing ads are far superior to what this brand currently has running. No disrespect to them, but their ads could definitely be better. They're just very corporate, not very creative. We're basically going to tell it to write a prompt to generate us a prompt. The prompt is basically this. We want to change our website here and use consumer behavior patterns for target audience. And I mean, pretty much this is exactly fine as it is. I will probably just change this to be females, millennials, primarily females. And that's pretty much ready to go. So I'm gonna have Grok pull information from that website, pull consumer behavior patterns on our target audience, and we'll see what it comes up with. All right, so I had it generate me a couple different prompts here, one for a lifestyle image and one for a more clinic-based image. That way you can show some social proof in studio type of creative. Let's grab this first prompt and then I'm gonna pop over to Free Pick. And the reason we like Free Pick is because Free Pick does a few different things. It allows us to pull from a variety of different AIs to generate the image. It uses the latest version of Google Nano Banana Pro, which is probably my favorite one, and it also uses SpeedStream 4.5, also a really, really good one. You have access to every single image generation AI out there, and it's updating constantly, so you never have to switch from one or the other. And it allows for image upload, character creation, and things like that, so you can reference different images and styles. I'm going to select Google Nano Banana Pro. I'm not going to upload anything for the time being. I'm just going to drop that prompt in as is. I'm going to go ahead, hit generate. And I'm running this as Google Nano Banana Pro. I'm running this as a 2K. You also have unlimited image generations. And I'm going to go ahead and generate this as a social post. Since we are going to be running this as a image-based ad, you can run this as a square 1x1, but I actually prefer 4x5. So we're going to go ahead and generate a few more of these. All right, so now we have a few different images. This one probably doesn't even need any adjustment. That's pretty solid. Let's grab this one. This one's pretty solid, and I'm going to drop this into our template here. This is our breaking news template. I'm going to include a link in the description so you can access this. All we're going to do here is drop in our image. Let's go ahead and expand this. I'm actually going to move this up a little bit. Then we have our shadow here. I have a video on why this ad format works so well. All we're really going to do here is just go ahead and change the headline with some different copy and keep the exact same format. We can change the text color to match your brand. The main reason we're using this text color is just because it's the most commonly seen in the news feed, which is that orange format. It stops the scroll and allows us to grab attention as quickly as possible. And we'll drop our logo in here. Quick little pro tip for all you Canva users: grab this image, click edit, and go to duotone. Regardless of what kind of image it is, you can change the color on that. So I'm gonna go ahead and make this just full white. Any file, you can edit the color inside of Canva. You can just change that duotone to change whatever color you want it to change in that little plugin. Then I'm just gonna change this subheadline, and there we go. There's our image ad. And there we go. And there's our image ad. So we got the lifestyle image here. We just change the text here at the bottom, add some subheadlines, add the logo here, and we're off to the races. That's image number one, and that's based on a lifestyle image. I'm gonna quickly generate an image showing the actual procedure and how you can upload some different images into FreePic here to generate your ad, right? So I'm gonna grab this second prompt. This is our general basic ad image prompt that I used to generate this. All we did was substitute the website in those brackets, and we got our prompt here. So I'm gonna drop this into FreePic. In this case, we can upload an image. We can also grab an image from stock assets. I'll give you a quick example. If I just go to clinic, and we'll just grab a nice looking medical clinic here. This one's pretty good, right? Cool. So now I have that image there as a reference. I'm gonna go ahead and add that in here. Let's read our prompt here. I'm just gonna go ahead and insert that image in one of those sentences, so that way it knows to use that image. And then we'll click generate and render this. Cool. So there you have it. I generated a variety of these, some with the reference image and some without. You can see a little bit of a difference here. Some of these will look a little bit more natural, and a lot of times when you use reference images, it can be a lot more natural looking. Like this one clearly looks staged with this little brochure here, so you might want to change that prompt. This one's a little bit better, but the lighting looks a little bit fake, as well as the logo and the equipment in the background. You obviously want to tweak your prompt to generate better images. I probably wouldn't personally run any of these simply because they don't look as real as they could. This would just be a matter of tweaking our prompt, importing some different reference images like logos to generate a better, higher quality image. We can even tell Grok the images look too fake. Cool. Okay. So we tweak that prompt a little bit, and these actually look a bit more organic. This is why we use Google Nano Banana, because a lot of the text is spot on, right? It rendered this upside down, and you can see that the text is actually spot on. Next generation body contouring, right? Nano Banana is able to do that. Some of this might be a little hazy, in which case you might want to upgrade to a 4K image rather than a 2K image. But most people aren't going to be zooming in that closely. This is a pretty solid image here. It doesn't look super stock. looks pretty organic. This looks like a somewhat of fake patient, but this is an example of an ad we may end up running. Tweak your prompt, tweak your settings, upload any images of the clinic you can reference in your prompt. Try switching variations of your LLM settings. You'll be able to generate some amazing ads. And then again, if you want to just drop those in our breaking news style winning template, we've used this to generate millions of dollars in revenue for different clients and businesses that you can use as well. This is one of the things that stops the scroll. It looks very native in the news feed. All you gotta do is swap that image and then you're off to the races. So that is our still image ads. Let's move on to our videos. All right, let's talk video ads for a second. For video ads, essentially what we want to do here, first step is go to the ad library and you want to look for active ads. This brand has 1,200 active ads. I already pre-swiped an ad and I use a couple different tools to swipe ads. One of them is Foreplay. This allows you to pull basically anywhere. So very seamless way of pulling ads. For this example, I'm going to show you how to use Swipe Kit. Swipe Kit is a little bit more accessible. It's free for the most part and it allows you to swipe meta ads and access everything we need. So I already went ahead and swiped this ad, and this is basically what it looks like.
Loose skin should not stop you from achieving your body goal. Don't settle for loose, excess skin. Get a tiny tuck. Weight loss is a tremendous accomplishment, but may leave behind loose, sagging skin, particularly in the lower abdomen. This is where AirSculpt's Tiny Tuck may be the perfect solution. This minimally invasive procedure is performed without drains and dissolvable stitches.
Right, so you get the point. A little bit of a long ad. I would probably try to get the point across in about 15 seconds. They kind of do here, and then it goes on. We're going to try to get this down to 15 seconds, still get the point across, and generate this using AI. Step number one is I'm going to grab this transcript here, and I'm going to take this over to Grok, and I'm going to just drop that transcript in. Then I'm going to use our video generating prompt. I already have this templated out in my instructions. Just replace everything that we have in brackets with your existing information. And so take a few minutes and go through and update all of this. For this example, I'm just going to copy and paste that transcript. Like I said, I already have this inputted into my Grok here, so it'll spit out the prompt that we need. All right, cool. So this is going to be our prompt here for Sora. And shouts out to Mark Builds Brands for this template. I'm going to link his video on this where he goes into more detail on how to craft this exact prompt template. We got our prompt. I'm just going to go and drop this directly into Sora. I'm going to set the parameters for duration, 15 seconds, portrait orientation, and click run. All right, cool. So we have a few different videos generated here. I have a combination of B-roll as well as more smartphone style direct to face videos. We're going to put these together to get our final product, right? Rather than stitching together a bunch of sequence of videos, I'd rather have this look as organic as possible. So we have some of these that are a little bit more B-roll style, some before and after type footage, little call to action there. Here's a little bit of a direct response pitch with some B-roll.
As a medical professional, I've seen how loose skin can hinder achieving your body goals. Weight loss is a tremendous accomplishment, but it often leaves behind loose skin, especially in the lower abdomen. AirSculpt's Tiny Tuck is a minimally invasive solution.
So that one's pretty good, minus her name just says body contour as her name tag. Some of these guys I actually really like.
Skin really shouldn't stop you from achieving your body goal. Don't settle for that loose, excess skin. Get a tiny tuck instead. Weight loss is a tremendous accomplishment, but it may leave behind loose, sagging skin, particularly in the lower abdomen. This is where AirSculpt's Tiny Tuck we get the purpose. You know, loose skin.
Like pretty organic, pretty natural sounding. His vocal patterns aren't, super scripted or, sound AI. And he looks pretty real.
You know, loose skin really shouldn't stop you from achieving your body goals. Don't settle for that loose, excess skin.
Get a tiny tuck in. Weight loss is a tremendous accomplishment, but immediately behind loose, particularly in the lower abdomen, like that's super common. This is where air sculpt's tiny pivot.
So that one sounds a little bit more robotic. This guy, air sculpt, is misspelled, so we're not going to use his. So we're going to post a few of these, and basically what we want to do here is we want to just shorten our caption here, because this will keep us from posting this. What we want to do is post this out of our drafts, so it goes into our feed. Now we have all of our different videos published to our page, and I'm going to copy this link. You want to go over to unmarket.app. This will remove the Sora watermark and extract the video. And then we just want to download the actual video here. All right, so once you get your videos downloaded, what I like to do is go over to Canva and piece these together. Since a lot of this can kind of look a little bit AI, I like to splice it all together so that it looks a little bit more organic with some B-roll behind it. So I'm going to take this doctor speaking, remove the background. Now we have essentially a green screen type of video feel, and I'm going to drag him. He'll be speaking all the way through, right?
It really shouldn't stop you from achieving your body goal.
Right? So now he's speaking, and we're going to go ahead and start dropping in some of our B-roll footage.
You know, loose skin really shouldn't stop you from achieving your body goal.
All right, so then essentially we're going to just clip up and rearrange some of our B-roll here. And so we got our doctor speaking, our B-roll going in the background as a green screen type of organic piece of content. And it sort of looks like this.
Loose skin really shouldn't stop you from achieving your body goals. Don't settle for that loose excess. Get a tiny tuck instead. Weight loss is a tremendous accomplishment, but it may leave behind loose sagging skin, particularly in the lower abdomen. That's where we're going.
The last thing I'll do here is run this through some sort of a caption generator. Canva's is somewhat decent. It looks a little, not native. I actually like using Descript a lot more. You can also you do this inside the Instagram app or editor app as well. You can also use CapCut or something like that. But just to kind of show you how we would round this off, add some captions here. Butter is another one, really good tool. Would recommend Butter. And what I like to do is try to get this down to 2 lines if you can. This is one of the reasons I don't like Canva. It makes it hard to edit the caption and the style of the caption. To make it look more native, we're going to turn this into a full-on white. We'll make it fully white. Black text. Cool. And there you go. You can kind of play around with the doctor green screen here, move the caption potentially in the middle. Keep in mind that you have to quickly run this through an overlay to make sure that you're not blocking anything off with buttons. I generally like to run things on the left side. You're going to have your, like, comment, share buttons here on the right side. You're going to have your button here on the bottom via story. So if you have the caption far down, it's going to get cut off. If you have it too far down, it's going to get cropped in the feed and it's not going to show up. Instagram, Facebook, they don't like that. That's why a lot of times I like to just have it right smack dab in the center. This guy, he can get cut off a little bit as long as his head's somewhat visible. That's fine. That's whatever. Just kind of adds a little bit of a native feel to it. Pretty much looks like this.
Loose skin shouldn't stop you from achieving your body goals. Don't settle for that loose excess skin. Get a tiny tuck instead. Weight loss is a tremendous accomplishment, but it may leave behind loose sagging skin, particularly in the lower abdomen. Like that's where we're going.
And there you go. There you had it. Like I said, about 90% of the way there. Could add a little bit of styling elements, get some better captions, some better B-roll, and that's pretty much it. You're off to the races. I would say 99% of people aren't going to be able to tell this guy is AI, especially when you run this as a green screen type of video. Now, if you run just the straight talking head, it looks a little bit more fake, right? The details a little bit larger. You can kind of see the text looks a little bit weird, looks a little off.
and it can be a little more noticeable that it is AI. So just be mindful of that. We're transitioning to an age where some things are going to be AI, some things are going to be more organic. And ideally, you want to blend the two. In some cases, it can all be AI that goes full force and looks more organic. You can layer that in with the stuff that is more AI, like this B-roll. Obviously, that's an X-rayed patient getting operated on or something. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. If you want us to get in the trenches on this, start creating some AI ads for you guys, click that link down in the description, and we'll talk soon.